named Bill Johnson. He's a Republican out of Ohio. We're going to Ohio next week, by the way, so I'm trying to study up on Ohio. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. He wants to introduce a bill called an act, I guess, called the Pass a Budget Act. There's your friendly neighborhood congressman right there. If the Pass a Budget Act passed, past cuts pay for members of Congress both. This is the headline. If a budget is not passed by their respective chamber, they don't get a paycheck. Your job as a representative of America, as our friend Bill Johnson says it, Robert, is to administrate America's business, not the least of which is to operate any business, if anybody runs a small business in this country, or their own household, or their own individual accounts, or anything else.
Any psychologist or economics professor,
or economist,
well, you know, whatever you econometrician. No, but anyone will tell you that the incentives will shape behavior, and so if you create an incentive or a disincentive here not to do your job, and I do believe it is kind of an important function of the Congress
of the job, right?
And then this makes sense, and it was actually, California did do this last year. There were some wrinkles around it, but they basically did it, and Jerry Brown vetoed a budget. 2 weeks later, they had a budget. It works. You make these people, you withhold
make any
their
group
pay.
of people, not just these people, any group of people.
You put incentives in front of them, and you enforce them, and it'll change behavior.
Imogen.
I am bringing a quote to the table from Margaret Thatcher.
Wow. The Iron Lady.
The Iron Lady. Any woman who understands the problems of running a home will be nearer to understanding the problems of running a country. And she was all about housekeeping, good housekeeping. And when she arrived in Britain, it was known as the sick man of Europe. And it's very interesting. She practiced what she preached. And last year, papers came out from 1981, and she'd had a massive argument with the civil service about an ironing board. And she'd insisted on redoing her own apartment in 10 Downing Street and paying for it, and paying for things like an ironing board. She practiced what she preached, and the nation saw. And that fundamentally is what needs to happen here in America, and I think it might well do so with a...
Which goes to what we talk about here, which is that how is the answer.
Yeah.
We argue who, what, when, where, and why all day, but how is the answer, and this piece of legislation, Jonathan, is an attempt to change some of the how. Be honest with us, JC, this is never going to happen, is it?
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. It's a great piece of legislation. It should happen, but we're talking about the very same Congress that was staring economic apocalypse in the face and actually threatened to not raise the debt ceiling. So you think they're going to put their paychecks on the line because they're not doing their job?
Not only that, but not only that, they have no incentive to do it because the gerrymanders and the closed primaries make it such that 80% of the time every incumbent politician is reelected. So if there was any chance that you could lose your job, but because I've got a Republican district gerrymandered for Republicans.
Maybe you still won't get paid if you don't pass the budget. That's the good thing about it.
Right, but what I'm saying is that as long as you are in no threat of losing your job, why are you going to pass the Disclose Act? Why are you going to pass this? Why are you going to pass the end of inside? Like, we've got it worked out where they can't fire us, being the electorate, because of the gerrymandering and the closed primaries. So as a result, I say we legalize insider trading, don't pass a budget and take the money. Take secret money to run. I mean, because of that detachment. Anyway, if I haven't gotten you fully inspired yet, please stick around.